All right, just let me turn down the music a bit right here. Our listeners can hear you loud and clear. Yes, Pastor Smiley, I was telling my listeners that you're on, and this week we're going to talk about something different. We are going to talk about your ministry. We have some listeners who listen to you 2 weeks in a row, and they're asking me,
Yes.
who is this Pastor Smiley? Which church is he from? Is he from Jamaica? I get one of those questions. But I guess they miss when we talk that you are here in Jamaica. So we just want to talk briefly with you this morning for you to introduce yourself more to our listeners and tell them who Pastor Smiley really is. And then we can, continue our discussion on social matters and even worldwide current events.
Yes. Morning again to you and your listenership. I must say that I'm grateful for this opportunity to share about my ministry. My ministry is first of all, I was born in St. Anne's. They call the place Benson St. Anne's. PJ River went up to we walked from PJ River to Kellis. So I'm a Jamaican by birth. Never traveled yet. But the ministry while growing up, I traverse like I live in St. Catherine where I grew up and going to school. I I also met a self appointment because at the time he was going to the same school, Youthton Primary. Um and his father usually drive a taxi. So usually familiar with him and so forth. Um but while growing up I always get dreams. I remember one of my relatives have someone knock him in his eye, and I dreamt that to tell the person to use goat milk to wash out the eye. But because when you're small, sometimes people don't listen to you. And they didn't. They eventually lose his eye. It's long after in my late age, I just realizing that goat milk was good to help your eye to heal. I never know that by like knowledge or something, but it was just a dream. So I start to read the Bible before I was baptized, and I read about the story of Joseph, and therefore, and all of the story that I read in the Bible. So my father always said, "This is the good one." But he was just reminding me that last week that I told him that I was hungry. Like I said, doctor, and I don't even remember that. And he buy a patty give me, and he said there was a man who came, said, I'm going to give away the party. And he was very mad and upset because I took the party and gave away. I don't remember it still, but that's how I grew up that way too. When you see people in need, you help them. So fast forward, I eventually baptized at the age of about 20, so 18, 20. Um, and it was in because I have a knowledge of both sides. It was a first day church. I was baptized in, and I've been with them for a while, and then I got a vision. I don't know other people who they get the calling that, so I got the vision with the same voice saying to me that you need to move on to this particular church in Linstead, and it tell me the church it was a 7 day church, and I'm not a what do you call this a go off 7 day church because I usually work and work overtime on Saturday now. And I said that's a madness. I should have about leave overtime. And every Saturday we usually get some nice soup cook with a nice beef or what you call it, what you call them on them is a chin pork. so,
Okay. You know,
so wait.
all this. Go ahead.
This girl one day forgot that to talk to me. That's the same voice I think when you may come to me in the dream. You know. eventually, eventually I went there. Eventually I went there. And I stayed there for a while until I again get the vision that you must become, you're called like Jeremiah, you must go forth and start to preach the gospel. I don't know what I start to kind of say, listen, I'm not going there, going forth, because you want to stay in the church, in the building that we call church, because it's not really the building of the church, but it's the people who are the church. As he said in Matthew, about where two or three are gathered, he's there in the midst to bless. And I rebelled till after that time I started to go on witnessing all over, riding bicycle, walking, all over. It become a part of me to witness. And then the church had a problem, or the denomination had a problem, because they're saying that who tell you to go out? Supposed to go out there and something possess you or whatsoever.
Huh?
So it was like
Sorry.
difficulty.
Sorry, what do you mean by something possess you? I don't get that.
No, demons possess you because you're going up and down. They say, mind, mind, because you can't be going up and down like that. No, not that deep in study. I went to study and found out that Jesus was an up and down person. Jesus was all the way all over the place. And he was up and down preaching the gospel. And therefore I went up and down preaching the gospel until they turned against me in the sense that you're rebellious. They said you're
Wow.
rebellious. So, and they always resisted.
I don't understand it though. I don't get it, because the church is called to evangelize. Persons go up and down on the byways and highways preaching the gospel. We see the popular Jehovah Witnesses each week. They're out there up and down. So I don't understand why this church particular didn't want you to go up and down and out with the gospel. I don't get that part,
Yeah, it was a matter of control. They must be, or the pastor must be the one to tell you when to go, what to do.
Okay.
It's not it was a matter of, and I met many other denominations with the same issue. That the members say, for instance, because I remember where Jesus was in Matthew, I think, where John said that there are some people preaching in my name. In your name, and they're not following us. You must use fire and burn them up. And Jesus said, leave them alone.
Even
If they're
disciples.
not against us, they're with us. You hear that? It's the same thing that we have in many denominations. Say, okay, once they're not with us, don't go over there, please. Don't associate with them. That's why you have such a divisiveness in Christendom, and they don't listen. For instance, if you even they learn to listen to each other, because, for instance, you might as the host of the show, I listen to you with certain things that I had. I think one of the topic was divorce. I never believe in such thing. It's just listening. You can tell people, say, even when you listen to sinners, do not disregard them. They are some what we call sinners. They have certain knowledge, because I listen to sinner and it makes some Christians ashamed because they have knowledge of the word. All right? And so I learned to listen to everyone, and when I listen, I go and research. I don't put on anyone. So I learned that way, and I changed. Because I can have something wrong for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it is with many denominations that they have wrong in them. And then the minister will say, we can't change them, because if we change, we're going to lose a lot of members, because we always tell them that we are the truth.
Yeah.
So the same church that I went to, they always said they are the truth. And I stand up and said, no, it cannot be. And they really get up against me. They really raise up against me, because I was saying that you just establish this denomination out here. The apostle and the brethren long time ago was carrying the truth. You have not reached in that at that stage to say that you are the truth, which is Christ is the truth.
Yeah.
So it is. My ministry was established where I started to go out write. God gave me the inspiration to write different pamphlets on different subjects. Until afterward, the most of the denomination, if you're teaching that your teachers, if you're teaching 10 different subjects, and one of the subject they deem to be not right, they will not like you to come around. Not. And so most denominations start to, you will teach 9 right, is like the commandment, and 1 they deem to be wrong. They don't want you to come near them, or you near their platform, or do anything as such. So it not only forces me to have a ministry with my family, so a family ministry, that we go out and we preach, we teach, and it takes a time to be established, in the sense that I experience teacher wisdom. I start to experience certain things, more vision, more thing. I go out and I remember going to this yard and I just open my mouth and I start to tell what was going on in the yard. And so I am not a reader man still.
I have some
Because
questions for you, you know. But go ahead.
yes. So when I told them, I was shocked myself when they said, "Oh, you know that?" I said, "I don't know." I just more than start talk, and then it began, that the gift start to mature in me. But as I look forward, and I see many prophets that we have today say they're prophet, I see that the prophet of old never behaved that way. That I met this prophet who said that I'm going to prophesy to all of you in here. It's not that we have the power to do prophecy by our own will, and can do it anytime. So most people in my ministry, if God said to speak something, I'll speak it to the individual. But I will not go around and say, I'm a prophet. I'm a prophet. Because it is not as people, you see today, that people are just prophesying and prophesying and prophesying. You who are Christian have the ability to connect to your own God, which is the God who created the heaven and the earth. And he said, I will speak to you in vision and dream. Well, that's the way mostly God speaks to me, in vision and dream. I remember a place that I don't know, and I remember a man that I don't know, and some bush. One time I just dreamed this man here, this man, he was a manager of a hotel, and I dreamt that I must speak this bush. I think you know the bush, quaker bush, don't it? Quaker bush. You know about quaker? They say they can, if you catching shot or something like that.
Yeah, I heard those phrases.
Yes. So I dreamt that bush, and I know that bush. I never know that bush can drink, because I think it was poison, honestly. And I get the vision, and the only vision showed, take the bush out, that and my next bush, Cersei, and something else, and can't go give him, because he's sick. And I was delayed, and the spirit on me said, go. And it was all the way from Lindsay to Montego Bay, and I didn't have any fear, so I bought the fear. But in the dream, when I reached here, he gave me $1,000. You know, those time enough money, you know, because
Yeah.
I can pay me if I have money. Yes, and exactly when I reached on there, he was humble enough and took the thing then, because remember, and I said I don't know if cockroach can drink, you know. So, I myself, you know. So this thing, when I gave him it, he actually took it, and he went overseas, and because he was getting treatment overseas, he came back and called me when he reached the airport and said, the doctor said must continue doing it, taking it, which I am not taking over, because I don't know about these things, because I dreamt some bush that if I'm sick, I'll drink, and I go pick it, and I'll find out if it can drink first, because me have this dog, because me don't know the bush yet. Okay, that's it. That don't means me a barnyard reader, me not read up people. All right. I'm
So
not give them bought either.
I hear. So you think that, you know, when persons first get into relationship with Most High, and He begins to give them dreams and visions. Do you
Ye-
think that probably this is one of the reasons why many go off and start to do things on their own
yes.
for
When you
person?
think it is your power by yourself, like I said, okay, like you take it as unto yourself, like is you give you this. I am the one that come up with this gift, and you just start to because I call somebody called me and said, somebody thief something on my house. I want to know. I said no. He said, how much you charge? I said, me? I don't charge nothing. I mean, I tell you either because you make a killing person, don't you?
Oh my goodness. So tell us more about your ministry though. You told us how it started. You mentioned it's a family ministry. You
Yes,
go
it
out.
started.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I started that. My wife started. Before that, when I met my wife, I dreamt before and could describe what and what how she was before. I married her. We are going on 34 years, I think, marriage now. Yeah, 34 years. And
Congratulations.
yeah, and then we got our first son, which passed off about 2 weeks ago. His name, I got the name in a dream. I name him. I get the next son, my daughter, her name in the dream. And eventually, when she was born, her mother gave her a different name, and I have to go down the hospital that time and change it, telling us to change it to one I get in the vision. And the nurse said, "You finished now?" I say, "Yes, now." And I leave her. The third son, the third child, which is a son also, I got the name. So we go to the family ministry, and we go out and we preach. And I found out now that when I go out, the more I go out, the more what you say now, not only experience but more power. Because I was right. I went out, and this woman I met, and I started to speak to her, tell her who she is. I never know that she was a daughter from Bad man in the era of St. Catherine. I was talk where.
Oh my
Bad
goodness.
man, because I even invited her to church and she come to church. But I never know how when she has said, "Oh, such a man." I said, "But wait," because you know when the father is a bad man, you as Christian and not experienced enough, you said that. Suppose they turn over upon me, what am I going to do? And from there, so now I start to pray with people and things start to happen. Like especially in the part where demonic spirit may have possessed a person. My wife have the same gift because the spirit of discerning in Matthew in 1 Corinthians 12, she could discern. And I sometimes do it. I won't say I have it as her. But we go out and we preach and hand out tracts, what we call pamphlets that I print and so forth. I said to God one day, how can I be an effective ministry with my family? And He showed me. I started to do CD in those time. I do CD with Bible, audio Bible, scripture on it. So if a man can't read the Bible, I give him a CD and he can listen to it. And then those who can read, I give them a pamphlet or to read. And I will, some people say, what are you going to do with them when you get them? But I ask them, what did Jesus do with those that He got? Because when Abraham was connected with God, he didn't have a Bible. He didn't have something to a Bible like he could have just read out and said, do this and do that. It was a straight connection, like straight wire, straight. So he was connected that way. And there are some other people that I witnessed to. I think a couple of them called me since the death of my son. They were I baptize about. I don't baptize much people. I just baptize a few. Others are in other ministry, and they only come and they will ask me about teaching and so forth. But they are growing up, and there's a young man that is on TikTok, which I ordained and so. But the thing is that in the ministry, my son got possession Mr. DJ. I got the son got possession, and the funny thing, I was sending my son to close a window, and this child no longer. When in a Jamaican, they say in stubborn,
Yeah.
rebellious.
Uh-huh.
Him never want to go, and eventually go. We hear something drop down in the hall, and we look to see him drop down, and his eye turn over white. Well, I never know that because in that type of field, I was not deep in that field. We just take him up, wet as normally, wet him head with water, came to the doctor. The doctor said he's okay. He's okay. And then after a couple months, I don't remember how much months, maybe about 3 months or so, if I'm correct with the timing, he started to grow a hump in the back. Hump, they call that scoliosis, yes. But he never born. He was that way. He went to primary school and graduated with a straight back. And then one day, what I find out is one day now, because he usually wears some big gazette. One day I touch his, like he's going to the bathroom, and I accidentally bumps and touch his back. And I said, what is this? I hear a voice come out of his mouth, which is not the normal voice, like a rough voice. Because I know my child, I know him speak. He said, do not touch my wings. And he think, no, I am frightened because I don't have no clue what is that. Don't touch my wings. And then from there, so it's about 20 years of it. We have this demonic problem with my son. And many people say, if only I just cast him out. So, well, that is if it was them. I try everything. We started to go to many churches. Some church said, we don't want him come here because we can't deal with that thing there. A matter of fact, he went to a church and we were sitting quietly in the church, and I don't know who tell this young man to say, point at him and say, I know you are in him. I mean, when he finishes it, the entire church was mashed up. Cheers and fun, kick down, and people running out from the building. Running out. And so, if you were not a Christian, you would want to say, so if the demons make people run out of the building like that, and then he was immensely strong, like about, I think one of the churches, a famous church in Jamaica, about 11 persons, you see that, Sister Smile, about 11 persons had to hold him, and he's throwing them all over the place. And he's not what do you call it, physically thick and strong person. That's why I started to take this demonic something up. Where I say Jesus cast out devil. They're not normal things that you just, like people are show off now and say, oh, come out of him. There are some that are some terrible spirit that will kill you. And most church will go, if the pastor can't church him because we tell them what they do.
So,
so
let me ask you a question though. So how you angle that, knowing that you are a man of God, you honor God, you praise God, you live according to his principles and laws, and you begun to have these dreams and visions and go out, deliver them, and you see, the power of God. And now this happened in your own family. Did that cause you to think twice about the God that you serve?
Yes, man. I think twice. I think more than twice, because I am saying that I go out and I pray for people who are possessed and the demons come out of them. And I say, God, warm to my son, because I remember praying for somebody in Maypen area. And when I come up in the night, and I open the door, and the demons in my son say, who tell you to go down there, we'll deliver the girl. And I say, God, what we get? They come like my father. When you come home, your father, I say, oh, yeah, come easily. And so I said, God, what kind of something this? How am I doing that? And in my house, listen, God said you have to learn to operate under fire. And he bring me to the mind of a soldier on a battlefield. That in the battle, though you get shot in your foot, you can drop your gun and run it. You have to hold out and try to defend until the end. And so, because of it, because what we did, we had to stop going around, because many church, in some cases, the people don't know what's in him, and some people will be literally fighting him. Because we go to one church and they'll be squeezing his neck, and it was terrible. And I have to tell him, say, no, don't do it. Because when you pray and the thing come out of him, because it's not like a one legion in him. The thing keep on coming back. So they cast out and then he come back. So people would say, you're disobedient. But because I know my child, I know it's not him that is doing it, it's the spirit. So I have to be saving him from people who say they're praying for him, because it's like a fight they're fighting. Literally, I'm not
Oh my goodness.
exaggerating. So most time I can't make him go out by himself, because him normally otherwise, when the thing not manifesting, and you don't want him to go out there and they kill him, because if it manifests, because if you go to a church and say the pastor mix up, it going to manifest if the pastor try to touch him and so forth. Because I remember one church, I didn't go to that church, it's my wife bring him there, and when he come down, some big bump like like water bump, some huge bump was all over his hand and so forth. And I just pray and they disappear. Says a demon. The pastor who pray for him, it was the right pastor. So that was it. And so from him, we have to stay on, because many churches, some people say they don't want to come mash up their church and so forth. So I started to consider why. So why we have Christian then? If these demons are so powerful, because it's looking like demons is so powerful that people afraid as Christian, and some church they don't want to come around them because they mash up the church and so forth.
Okay.
So we spend a lot of money going around until it reach where we have to stay home.
Oh my.
Stay home.
Hold it a bit.
With him.
Hold it a second for me, Pastor Smiley. Just a reminder to our listeners, we're talking with Pastor Anthony Smiley from Victory Ministry. He has been on the radio for 2 weeks. We spoke about food security and whatever is happening with the farmers and the food around the world. And some of our listeners wanted to know more about Pastor Smiley. So he's sharing his story about his ministry today, friends, right here on Old Harper Radio 1. And just want to say thank you for joining us. And we are going to continue the discussion, but you can just take up your phone, send the link to a friend or family, anybody, and tell them to join Old Harper Radio 1 while we continue the discussion. Remember, on top of the hour, we'll be having the Queen of Radio, Cam Booster. She'll be doing our morning show right here on Old Harper Radio 1. As usual, when she's on, you're guaranteed to be entertained. A very classic, smooth, and professional lady on radio, the Queen of Radio, they called her. Yeah. Just say again, big up our listeners across the world. We know we have listeners in the UK, and it's actually 1:31 in the UK now in the afternoon. And the time just varies in different parts of the world. Big up our listeners in Germany and Brooklyn. Want to big up culture, more culture, there also as well. Hope that you're enjoying the weather wherever you are. And we continue with the discussion right here in Old Harbor Radio 1. But give me a couple seconds and listen to this.
You are listening to Old Harbor Radio 1, the voice of the people. Educating and entertaining, 24 hours streaming from Jamaica to the world. Check out our website for more information. Big up Jamaica, Old Harbor Radio 1, the voice of the people, rising to higher heights.
The radio is on, but the music is cool. It's 24/7 hit, the radio station you can call your own.
So hot.
Do you know what listeners like about our station? It's everything.
I like everything.
Hello, DJ Classic is in the building.
He knows your music, he speaks your mind, and he's got you locked on.
All right, definitely we've got you locked on. And we are continuing the discussion with Pastor Smiley this morning. Pastor Smiley was telling us about his son, and and it's strange though. He tells us that many churches who are in the faith didn't want his son to be a part of the congregation. Is that so? Because I don't know, Pastor Smiley. Do you think
Yes.
the church should be powerful, more powerful than the devil?
Yes.
We
Yes,
read
yeah.
in Saint Mark. I mean that when you believe, receive the Holy Spirit, you have power to cast out demons. And you're telling me that
Yes,
there are
yeah.
many, few, well, I don't know how much, but it seems like it's a couple churches, well, you have gone to with your son. And,
Yes.
and some say they don't want him
And
there.
no, they don't want him there because they don't want to mash up the church. The problem is that if you're not told to do anything to a person that is possessed, you don't do anything, you sit there. But if you think you have power and just go touch them like that without God instructing you, then you cause problem. Or if you're in the church and not living right and touch them, that's the worst thing you can do. Because I'm living with him and I have to live every day, you know. I'm talking that for many years, every day, it manifests. When I call his name, and when he turn and come to me, I have to differentiate between him and the demonic power. I said, okay, oh, it's not John. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my son. Then you see, it recede, and then my son will say, shake him head and like him just come back and say, I said, yes, daddy. He was quite humble, too, no. So it's not like, and I want to tell people, it's not that me have like say, I just great man. Any one of you or anyone God can use, they'll do that, you know. It's that when you just listen obey because they will destroy. At first, you know, sir, is that I didn't understand it, you know. And I said, this boy is so rebellious, see? And I started discipline with Jamaican discipline. He gave me some kick, you see, and some lick. I don't feel us kicking on the skin, I feel it in the bone. Because I usually practice a little karate. When I feel the lick, I said, Jesus, you say you take it all, bear it all for me. Those lick was penetrating. And then I learned, through the years I learned, said, do not touch him. Unless God said, touch him. Because when you see it manifest and he going for the knife and so, as a man, you have to say, walk off your knife. And I try to call up him up. That is the wrong thing. The Spirit of God, it was like a faith test, not a like, but a faith test because I have to leave him, make him pick up a knife. And then I have to say what God say I should say. Because normally I wouldn't see a man picking up a knife and coming for me and I just stand up, sir. No, it's that when God said, do this with man, like I just shake my hand in the air. I see him drop on him, drop down, I drop the knife or something like that. No, I have no clue about these things. And let me tell you, I don't know about these things. It's just what God tells me to do it and I do it. So it's not of me because you say that I have no, I was this great man. It's not like that.
So actually,
because
sorry, what I'm getting is that for 20 years, you have been living with your son with this condition. And it is as if your son share some form of residence with these demons, and they just manifest whenever they feel like. And sometimes, as you mentioned, that you have to look to differentiate which one you're talking to.
Yes, just like that. And because I start to question God, because I am saying that in my Bible, this thing comes out so easy. That's one of my things, you know, that it was something that can easily cause out. But actually, I found out that God was training me to this, because some of the things that happened wasn't things that I would have normally bought. Because we came to the hospital, usually visit the hospital every first month, you know, because they say he has Marfan disease, because sometimes the demons manifest and his hand would grow tall. You know, tall, like a hip tall hand? And they were saying that it's Marfan disease. Because I remember getting a dream and wake up and go in where room is and said, you, that is his name, is Beelzebub. And he jump up on the bed, he say, and he hand stretch out tall and he take up, you know them basket where you put clothes in, huh?
Yeah.
And he pick up another full of clothes to throw at me. Now, normally I would have either run or try defense, but because I was getting experience, you know, I said, I command him to put it down and take time and put it down, because demons are not things that quickly respond to just like that. And he put it down. And then the thing is that my son is like sometimes when he's out and naturally, like like let me give you some, like every 7 o'clock for one period in this scenario, that every 7 o'clock, my son, I remember one night he said, "Daddy, tie me up. They're coming. Tie him up enough. That's 7 o'clock enough." And when I tie him up enough, no, I'm a big man enough to tie, because I tie goat also. You see, when I think I tie him up, I tie him up. You just break off the thing, you see. And the whole night till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And for a period of time, it's from 7 to about 3 to 4 a.m. And so some people I say, "I'm a Christian and pastor." You see, and one of the nights, I know the Spirit of God said, "Lift up the settee." You know, the soft part they sit on in the settee. And I lift it up, I see about, I think it's about 2 to 3 knives. The demons didn't place it on the settee for the night when we drop asleep to kill us. And the demon said, "Who tell us it down there?" And this is a learning for me now, Mr. It's not like I learn this thing and I'm all this, as some people want to pretend like they just have it like that. It's just a learning, and and each time I learn, and then I learn our next segment where music. There are some what we call love song, but are really lust song. It making demons manifest. So we not even have no TV. You know how long we don't have TV? Because we have the TV. The TV itself, the shows them that come on TV would make some manifestation occur. All right, and the demon will speak things according to say, okay, say he was half on the floor to a pinch of salt. He will tell you what because we have some series on TV with witches and all kind of cartoon and stuff. I thought the cartoon was pure, a decent thing. No, demons manifest. Cartoon make demons manifest, because I see it at a school that I was doing some computer repair. This guy manifests, a little boy. And the children was mocking him and thinking it's a joke, because it was dueling trainer. And it was going off. The school has upstairs, and there's a pipe that lead out, that water fall on the upstairs balcony, it lead out. He crossed over the rail and was going on that to jump off in the school. And I said, "In the name of Jesus, come back." And he came back. And the thing leave him. And all the time, I don't know where he is now, but he's a nice little boy, but the demons was in him. And the cartoon also possess your children. Cartoons, you know, so you have to know what type of cartoon you're watching and what type of show. So we have all of that to go through, different phases. It take a lot of time to explain all that. And then we have the music phases. And then we have the preaching. When I turn on TV and things, say, okay, the man casting out demons out of somebody, or a prophet casting out, it can be very dangerous. Because when he casts out the demons, the same thing that the man was doing, my son started manifesting inside of it. Because some of these are not really prophet of God, you know. It's other power, because if you notice Moses and the Pharaoh magician, they had rather, they threw down a snake come forth. It looks similar, but it's not the same. Because Satan is a counterfeit. A man who counterfeit $100, is trying to make it look as close as the genuine note. So Satanic kingdom and all its ministers and its implements are trying to become and look like the real thing. So people are easily deceived in that manner. And so with me, I had to go through all of this with our son until later on in his age, because he's now, 29 years old, and he started to pray, because we started to get him to know God, baptize him, and he started to pray and fast, and the thing started to receive greatly, where he himself will have prayed, and the thing I said, I want to come out of this boy, because I can't get to do what they said me to do. You know?
What they
Like
said him to do?
Huh?
What did they say? The spirit said, I want to come out of this boy because I can't do what them say the spirit should
Yeah,
do.
when they said it, they actually said they said him to kill me, but he can't get to kill me because one of the time you see, it's not really a joke, but I have to laugh. I was down my farm and it's like 300 yards away. It manifests, and I hear the noise, and make a noise, and he was bolting, and I'm about 300 yards away. So look at that, 300 yards. And the spirit said that I'm going to carry my river, go join him because there's a little river there now. And he's running, and 300 yards should give me enough time to block the road. I grab him. I tell you, sir, this is the longest or the shortest 300-yard run that him run because I couldn't get near, and I was about, said, 10 feet away from the road when we going run on. And I don't know if my foot was paralyzed, but I know that I could not reach to block him. And him run past, go on a corner where the stream is over a little bridge. And I said to me, I think he's gone John. And the Spirit of God said, shout in the air. And I shout in the air and said, come back here in the name of Jesus. I don't see him, I don't know him, because you know what? I tell you what, I don't want to say this in a bad way. Sometimes it come like a cruel joke. Because as Job sometimes said, God must stop giving dream because he might give him a lot of dream and something like that. And when the guy gone disappear, he said, come back, and I don't see him come. And I go like I give up now. I see him come. But he was still in the manifest stage. And tell him just come right on my foot and fall down. And drooling like a doll, drooling, and tell him, he come back in himself and he said, Daddy, what happened? It's a terrible thing, sir. It's a terrible thing for when people work witchcraft on people. It's not a nice thing. And going through this the whole time and see your child that had a straight back, possessed. We have to hide the knife every day. The knife have to be hidden. We can't have the knife there. And before I come to them, it's one of the nights, we don't have no gas. A coal we have. We put on the coal stove from about what? I think it's about, if I'm not right, can be corrected with the time. So about 7 o'clock, and because coal is not good. We have a fan in the house. He manifests there. And me have to try to hold him because me hungry and the whole of we hungry. And because in the room that he was, we take out all furniture. Because I mash up all I wanted in the first place. And the one in there only, not even bed in there. Because when the thing manifests, he might take all his finger, take up the bed and fling it with. Things cut him on the heel back immediately.
What are you? This? Come on, Pastor Smiley. We only see these things on the sci-fi movie and those. We only hear of those things. Yes, that's why when Are you telling me that...
I brought into a church and the people say, we only see this thing in a movie. A church going to... You go to Ochi and go to St. Mary. They said we only see this thing in movie. Because the people were great. They were greatly upstairs when they see the manifestation or do. Because I don't see that. I don't see that normally. And it get cut and it heal up back. Same time. No, so it's not a normal. So the thing. So that's why I'm so distressed when people must stop work witchcraft on people. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, man, and I never know about this degree. I see other people possessed, but to the degree that it came, it was so terrible that that room was empty, and while the food I tried cooking up, he come out there and start manifesting, and the food about 2 o'clock when we finish. At that time we have to try to eat the food, and you know what happened? I hold him and I wrestle with him because. The demons that manifest, it was a song, and I didn't want to call the artist's name. So a song that was, he started to sing, and it manifest, and we had some, the ocean that have the surface electrical wiring. Yes. They run it on the wall and so forth. He started to peel them off and put it in their mouth, someone get power, or from matchstick light and something like that. And so you have to try to see if there was something there. And that put on that now, he called on the spider and the lizard them from out of the place coming down, you know. So it was like a terror. And I hold him and tie him up. And then when I tired, I start to cry because I'm tired and I can't bother more. Because me, I wonder if I so long God take the answer when you pray, you know. Because me start I get mad. I mean, I say me get mad with God. So let me tell you that this is how me get me. I say, but yet, this if man go down and say, oh, yeah, man, do this, you just bam, your foot crippled up. And me have this thing I wrestle till 2 o'clock. I want me give up now and I can't manage no more. My little son, the little son, which is his brother, come. I don't know if he knows what he did. You know, he come and he wave me hand after him, and he fell off me because he hold me down, you know. He fell down and ground. And I say, yes, man, do it again, and he do it again, and he just drop and leave me and tell him come to his center and start crying. I mean, hug up my son that the demons is. Because I start crying, everybody start crying.
Wow.
Because and I little son God used because we don't know him off having him always keep quiet. So him just come out through him and so I went to that the first time. I said, yes, Ben, do it again, and he did it again, and it fall down. So it was I have to break down how long.
We are getting emotional right here, right now, listening to these things. We can't tell, we can only imagine, and this is beyond extraordinary. You know, when our listeners ask us, you know, that they want to know more about Pastor Smiley after listening to you with the, you know, when we talk about the food, believe me, we weren't expecting to hear all of this. I know that they are not expecting
I
to
tell
hear
you,
this. Wow, what an experience! I can only
even though
imagine.
it bring. Yes, it's a
And
terrible thing.
and throughout all of this, although at times you get upset with God, you have never given up the faith.
No, I have to go back to him because there's no other way out. There's no other way out. And so we have to go back to him because I actually resigned my work to stay home with him because the thing also bring on seizure like 3 to 4 times a day. And the first time it happened to him, I never knew it was seizure. He was eating. And I thought he was choking and put my hand in his mouth. And the force of his mouth come on, I think my 2 fingers lost. I don't know if my finger come out of that mouth, but I find out says seizure mouth. And so the doctor will say that he has some electrical, I don't know what is it, I said, tell us. But one of the nurses was bold to say, whisper, said, your relative work witchcraft? But she couldn't do that in front of the other doctors because obviously they don't believe in that. I said, I don't know if any doing it. So, but for months we've been carrying it around because the schools them also take up donation to help us because they thought it was normal scoliosis and Morphan disease. And they take up donation. A lot of school give donation, and he help us to carry him every first Monday too. And but the ants, because when it manifests, the ant grow tall and it come back up. Yeah, so because I'm home and I witnessed that. There's sometimes, you know, the demons will say, are you me come to kill her? And because we can't get to kill you, we go to your son and monitoring, you know. Even you, if I must say, tell me of certain things that you saw. So it's not like a thing that was hidden. I had a lot of video on it. It was a Huawei phone we had. The Huawei phone camera could pick up other entity around. I only have one of the video with the entities. Like when you pray, you see them start to manifest, or when he's manifesting around. We take up cutlass, we have to hide cutlass. And after that, he came down in the last part before he passed off 2 weeks ago, is it? Also, he come down and was a prayed man. Sometimes I study Bible, and I said, but he's studying the Bible more than me. I forgot to take an example of that. You know. He came down to that,
okay.
and the spirit was more like speaking to him, say, through him at time, he come and say, I want to come out back and go around. And man said me, I call the man name. So,
Oh my
so,
goodness, yeah?
me said, yes. So, it's like, it's more than a book.
Pastor
And
Smiley,
it,
I'm getting the
yes,
wrapping up signal. It's we are much out of time, but this is so interesting. I don't know if you'll be willing to come back to share, to continue talking with us on this.
yes, God's willing, I'll come back and share.
We do appreciate you and everything. It's on top of the hour.
Yes.
Our next radio host, Kambusta, will be on in just 6 or 5 minutes from now. So we have to wrap up. But boy, this has been a journey this morning. It has been an experience for you and the family. And
Yes.
we from Old Harbor Radio 1, the voice of people, you have our condolences, you and the
Yeah.
family. And
Yeah.
we will talk. But
Yes.
listeners, you have to admit, listeners, this is something that we have never seen in real life, only in the movies. And you heard
Yes.
it from the man. It's not a second-hand story we're getting.
Yes.
It's his real experience. It's a man of God.
Yes.
And you felt the way I feel when listening. We can feel this is very touching. Thank you again, Pastor Smiley.
You're welcome. Okay.
All right. Oh my goodness. How do I continue? How do I continue after that? It's the end of the show. We will take this break, and at 9, it's our kombusta. We do appreciate Pastor Smiley very much for really open up and sharing this story to the world.
Looking for a radio station that covers a wide range of topics. I mean, business, health, religion. Where can you find that?
Well, Old Harbor Radio 1, or OHR1, might be what you're looking for. It's a family-oriented station based in St. Catherine, Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica. So it's not just music then. What kind of programming do they have?
Right. They cover quite a bit: business matters, health discussions, different religious viewpoints, plus entertainment and lifestyle content. It's pretty diverse.
That sounds interesting. And it looks like they're independent. Is there a way to support the station?
Yes, the station actually relies on donations. The page mentions you can support your favorite DJ or the station's operations through PayPal. So yeah, between the range of topics and the focus on community, it sounds like a unique station worth checking out.
Great. I'll definitely take a listen.
All
Thanks.
right. So that